Hello everyone and welcome back to my opinion. And this is the final video proving the fortunes of each IPL franchise ahead of this season. There are three franchises left, those franchises being Kolkata, SRH and Delhi. Starting off with KKR, I thought they had a luxury going to this auction which they didn't have in previous auctions where they usually had to buy 8 or 9 players with 10 or 11 crores left. In this case, they could buy a decent number of players with 32 crores left. They spent 24 of that on Mitchell Starc and then went back to a situation where they had to buy, again, a similar number of players with not much money left. I feel they've got a decent squad with a couple of precarious points. Ahead of this season, Jason Roy has pulled out due to personal reasons, but I feel with the replacement they've signed, it has improved the dynamic or the composition of their side. But they've signed an aggressive keeper batsman in Phil Salt, and I feel he would be the starting keeper. As far as 11 goes, I feel unlike either side, there isn't too much wiggle room in terms of they don't need to tinker too much with their 11 across conditions. I've gone Phil Salt and Venkatesh Iyer to open the batting with Nitish Rana at 3 and Shreyas Iyer at 4. Rinku Singh 5, Andre Russell 6, Ramandeep Singh number 7, Mitchell Starc 8, Sunil Narayan at number 9, Chetan Sakaya number 10 and Varun Chakravarti number 11. From a batting point of view, Phil Salt will be their aggressive keeper batsman and with Gurbaz serving as the backup option. Now, in terms of his batting in the Eden Gardens, what happens is you get runs in the power play, in the middle overs, you've got to manage things, and then you get runs at the death. Phil Salt and Venkatesh Iyer are two aggressive batsmen, so I feel that combination will work well in playing at home. The key is, how will he keep? When you're keeping in these conditions against Sunil Narayan, Varun Chakravarti, and at home, the impact will be Suyash Sharma. We'll have to see how he goes. In terms of a keeping option, there may have been a better option available in terms of someone like a Josh Inglis who was available at the same base price. A destructive player, a decent player of spin and can also keep wickets, and I feel is much more of a genuine keeper than Phil Salt. They've signed Phil Salt as the replacement player. The reason why I've gone with Shreyas Iyer at 4 instead of 3, even though he plays for India, is because, like I said during the World Cup, he's a destructive player in the middle overs. This China averages above 40 when batting number 3, and he's had to bat at number 4 in the previous season, and I feel he should be utilised to his strength. Shreyas Iyer is a destructive hitter in the middle order, and I feel even if an early wicket falls, we're at this venue, if you're bowling the full lengths of pace, you get the reward. If an early wicket falls and you have to maybe expose Shreyas Iyer early at number 3 against that type of bowling, then you don't know how it would go. Which is why if you utilize him to his strengths, I feel it would help Nitish Rana as well, where he can bat at his usual position, and Shreyas Iyer can bat at number 4 and win matches for his side. Rinku Singh has been in fantastic form. He'd be a given at number 5. Andre Russell, since his return to the international scene, he really seems to want to prove a point, and he's been going quite well, so I've got him at number 6. Number 7 is a precarious point because, and number 6, number 7, because you can either play Russell at 7, play someone else at 6. In my view, Ramandeep Singh has got to play at number 7 because otherwise you've not got anyone else. You've got to play, I think, Manish Pandey, who in 2018 or so is batting at 5 for India, but that was quite a long while ago. Will he be able to do that here? It depends. So Ramandeep Singh, who's had a good domestic season, I think he could bowl 2 overs along with Andre Russell. That could make 4 overs in terms of at their home venue. The seamers wouldn't be doing as much bowling anyway, but he's going to have to come good at number 7. Mitchell Starc, he's been giving a lot of runs recently, but I feel he's been their marquee signing and he will be a threat with a new ball and at the death as well. Sunil Narayan, we know what he'll do. Chetan Sakara, I thought he's a good signing, a steal, especially 50-50 luck. I don't know why the Delhi Capitals and the other franchises let him go for that kind of money. And he is one of the lead Indian. I think he is the lead Indian seamer in this side, which that is a deficiency in the side. Going from Umesh Yadav and Shardul Thakur, they've now got Chetan Sakaria, Vaibhav and Harshit Rana. So that's something that it's not as great compared to the previous squad, but Chetan Sakaria, who's played for India, is going to have to step up. And Chakravarti, we know what he can do. So overall, I think it's a decent team, but there are a few precarious points. The Indian bowling definitely, the Indian seam bowling definitely, and Ramandeep Singh at number 7. And as a backup for Gus Atkinson, who's been withdrawn by the ECB, they've signed Dushmanta Chamera. There's 2 things there. One, they may have to start looking for a replacement for him soon, given his injury record. And secondly, is he a backup for Mitchell Stark? No, he isn't. When he bothers to death, he'll go for plenty of runs. So, in terms of backups as well, Shafane Rutherford, is he a backup for Andre Russell in terms of his bowling? No, he's not. David Visa, they had David Visa for 1 crore. They let him go for some reason. So, it's a decent side, but I feel based on a couple of precarious points, if they address that number 6-7 slot in the Indian team as stand-up, which will be a challenge, they can be in the race to qualify, especially if LSE step up, like I mentioned in my previous video. Now on SRH, they had a decent mini auction the previous time round and had a lot of money to strengthen their side in this one. They made one statement signing, and looking at the squad, you've got a lot of good players who may not get an opportunity to play, and especially for a couple, they certainly won't do. There are 3 variants in terms of their 11 in my view, and I heard Bandhu Hasaranga may not be available initially because of the test series between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. In that case, I think the 11 will be as follows: Abhishek Sharma and Travis Head to open the batting with Rahul Tripathi at number 3, Aiden Markram 4, Heinrich Klaasen 5, Sanjay Singh at number 6, Washington Sundar at number 7, Pat Cummins 8, Bhuvneshwar Kumar 19, Natarajan 10, and Mayank Mankhande number 11. I feel there's enough batting there if you've got Washington Sundar at 7, Pat Cummins a handy number 8, Bhuvneshwar Kumar a handy number 9. Depending on the conditions, if they want to get a seamer in, if it's a bouncy track, maybe you go to Imran Malik, and maybe on a slow surface you get someone like a Jaydev Unadkat if you want to get a seamer, or if you want to get an extra spinner in, you place Shahbaz Ahmed and then play around with the side in that way. They've given the captaincy to Pat Cummins, even though Ian Markram, in terms of his SA20 exploits, did very well with the bat himself and has led his side to 2 trophies. I felt it was a muddled campaign for SRH the previous season, where combined with the way the management dealt with things, and I felt the captain didn't have as much authority as he would have liked to, and that muddle translated into them having a poor season, a 10th place finish in the previous season round, despite having a decent auction going into that season. And in terms of who they could play if they want to play one into Hasaranga, it's a case where when he returns, you think one of Travis Head or Aiden Markram would have to make way, even though Aiden Markram has done some very good things for them in other leagues in terms of the franchise group. Because they've signed Travis Head for that much money as well, I feel they'd be looking for him to start. So, in this dilemma, it's a case where if you're looking for Travis Head to start, then you've got to play an Indian middle order batsman. That would at number 4. That would be maybe Upendra Yadav, for example, who's had a decent domestic season. Amarpreet Singh is there as well. And if you're looking to play maybe Aiden Markram at 4 and leave out Travis Head, which I think would be the correct decision, you'll be backing Mayank Agarwal, who they've played a very good amount of money for, and he's played for India as well. So I feel it's a case where out of those 2 options, you'd much rather play Markram, but they won't play Markram probably because they've paid almost 7 crores for Travis Head. And it's a case where you've got a lot of good players and they won't be able to play. Marco Jansen, even though he's done decently for SRH, they've bought Pat Cummins and made him captain. Even though Marco Jansen, this rise as a T20 bowler, has been going well and off late, they'll play Pat Cummins and Marco Jansen does not have an opportunity to play. Fazalak Farooqi, I don't know why they even retained him even in the previous seasons, and he certainly won't be able to play. Now, Glenn Phillips, how will he be able to get into the side? You don't know. So you've got a lot of good players there who won't be able to get into the side. If you want to put Hasaranga, you won't be able to play Travis Head or Aiden Markram. So it'd be a selection headache. You saw in the previous season they played Mayank Agarwal once at number 6, Haribrook opening, then pushed Abhishek Sharma back. It's a management that hasn't got things right in the last couple of years, and even though Pat Cummins in terms of the international exploits, he'd be confident going to the season. However, in terms of how much control he would have in terms of dictating terms as a captain, you'd have to see Aiden Markram did not have that autonomy when he was captain. And so I feel with the model that may be created, especially if they lose a few games early on, and with the management, we saw how they dealt with the proceedings in the previous season where players such as Marco Jansen and Rahul Tripathi were left out by the end of things. I feel this will be a tough season for SRH even though they've got some very good players there. And finally on the Delhi Capitals, I'd said when previewing the Punjab Kings season that two teams, them and another side, would be competing for the lesser spoils this season. They call it the Northern Derby, and I think you could add the 9th place derby to that as well, because both those sides have had terrible auctions. You're looking at the score and you think there are only 3 players who give faith they could contribute consistently, especially considering the venue being shifted from Delhi to Visakhapatnam, and with how the players would be used as well, you think only 3 players can give you the faith that they contribute consistently. And even one of those players is returning after a long layoff, that player being Rishabh Pant, and I'm very happy to see him back. So, apart from Akshay Patel and Kuldeep Yadav, we don't know how the rest will go. And considering the properties of this venue, where it slows up as the innings progresses, a few batsmen and bowlers would not want that to be the case. So the 3 options in terms of their 11s, and in terms of how I think they'll start off, I've gone with David Bourne and Prithvi Shaw to open the batting, with Mitchell Marsh at number 3, Rishabh Pant 4, Tristan Stubbs 5, Kumar Kushagra number 6, Akshay Patel 7, Kuldeep Yadav 8, Khalil Ahmed 9, Mukesh Kumar 10, and Henrik Nokia fit at number 11. Now, in terms of how the batsmen would fare, you've got David Warner, who hasn't been the explosive David Warner of late. He's been looking to bide his time. In the previous season, struck at just over 130, that too being propped up by a few innings where the strike rate was higher. Prithvi Shaw didn't have a great season the last time around. He's one of the lead Indian batsmen on the side. Mitchell Marsh, 2 things. One, batting on this type of surface, he would go on the back foot to the spinner, and that would mean he could be dismissed LBW. Secondly, I don't agree with him making the change since a couple of years back to bat in the top order in white ball cricket. I feel he was much better off as a finisher at 6. That was a thing in 2013. I saw him play that finisher role for the then Pune Warriors, and that was the first time I saw him. And I've mentioned in innings before where I think this was between 2013 and 2015, where Australia played an ODI at Lords against England, and that game was won. Mitchell Marsh scored a 60-odd off 30-odd deliveries, but even then he used his feet to the spin, which he doesn't do now. So if he doesn't do that now and you're thinking he'll go well at number 3 on a slow surface against Indian spinners, I don't think that will work. So in my view, he should have never made the change, but I think he'll bat number 3 in this case. Tristan Stubbs playing the finisher role. He did well in the SA20, but on this type of service, I don't know. And based on who they've signed as a replacement player for Lungingidi, for example, Jake Fraser-McGurk bats in the top of the order, once again on true batting services. Would he be a backup for Tristan Stubbs? No, he wouldn't be. So they've got Stubbs having to play all 14 games at this point in time because they haven't announced another backup yet. And if they sign a bowler as a replacement for Lungingidi, then that's just what's going to have to be. Henrik Nokia, Jai Richardson. Henrik Nokia hasn't played any cricket since a while now. Would he be suited to bowling the surface? No, he wouldn't be. Jai Richardson hasn't played cricket for a while either. Would he be suited to bowling the surface? No, he wouldn't be. And so I feel in terms of overseas bowling options, the fast bowling options, I don't know what they're going to do there. Mukesh Kumar can bowl Yorkers, yes, but in terms of bowling with a new ball, looking for movement while hitting a length, would this surface be a surface where he could look to do that? Maybe not, it may not suit him. Ishan Sharma can bowl those knuckle balls, so maybe they could prefer him, but Mukesh Kumar plays for India, so he will start. So overall, I think apart from Akshay Patel and Kuldeep Yadav, they've not got too much there. In terms of the second variant, Tristan Stubbs could bat at 4, Mitchell Marsh could bat low down the order at number 6. I don't think that will happen. And if Tristan Stubbs fails, again, I don't think it will happen because Mitchell Marsh will be put to bat number 3. But in my side, I've gone Shea Hope to bat at 4 so he can work the ball around when the spinners are bowling. Akshay Patel at 5 also, and he can attack the spinners and the paces. And you've got Mitchell Marsh to be a pure pace hitter at number 6. So they will not play him at number 6, meaning that they'll only stick with the first variant of 11. Do I think it will work out? No, I don't. And I feel they will struggle this season. And I think them and Punjab especially would be the 2 worst performing sides this season. So that's on the fortunes of every IPL franchise. I'll be starting in a couple of days, so let's see what this season has in store. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, share it with your friends. Remember, this is my opinion. What's yours?